Now, after weeks of mounting pressure, United States President Joe Biden on Sunday dropped out of the November presidential election. Biden says he will remain in his role as president until his term ends in January 2025, and he says he'll address the nation this week. He claimed considerable progress has been made during his time in office so far. Joe Biden is the first sitting president since 1968 to drop out of the race for the White House. Well, after ending his campaign, President Biden endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris as the presidential nominee for the Democratic Party. Biden's calling on Democrats to come together to beat Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump in the election. Harris would be the first black woman to be a major party candidate for president if confirmed at the Democratic National Convention, which starts on August the 19th. The Kremlin says that for Russia, the most important thing is achieving its goals in the Ukraine conflict, rather than US politics, in which Moscow says much could change over the coming months. Vladimir Putin has said several times that Biden would be preferable to Russia as the future US president compared to Donald Trump. The Kremlin also says that Vice President Kamala Harris has so far made no contribution to Russia-US relations. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says Joe Biden made defence and security central to his leadership. Keir Starmer made the comments at the Farnborough International Air Show in southern England, where he paid tribute to Joe Biden's leadership of this month's NATO summit in the United States.
First say, given that we're here at this air show, how much President Biden cares about defence and security, has made that central to his leadership. And of course, he led us through the NATO Council just 10 days or so ago, a really important NATO summit, a bigger NATO, a stronger NATO, and a NATO with real resolve. I respect the decision that he has now made. Not an easy decision, but a decision that I know that he will have arrived at, taking into account the best interests of the American people, and I look forward to working with him for the remainder of his presidency.
European shares rose in early trading on Monday, rebounding from steep losses in the previous session, while investors weighed the implications of President Joe Biden's exit from the US presidential election race. Political uncertainties in the US and the prospects of US trade restrictions caused a sell-off in technology stocks last week. The Stoxx 600 index logged its biggest weekly decline of the year so far. A lack of policy direction from the European Central Bank also added to investor concerns.